Have you just started dating a Filipina, either online or in person, and are considering giving her a monthly allowance? Or perhaps already giving her a monthly allowance? If so, you really may want to watch this video, because it's my firm belief that in doing so, you may be setting false expectations for the future, which in turn could damage your relationship. So to find out more, be sure to buckle up and stay with me here. Now let me make it clear from the outset. It's your money, and how you spend part of it or all of it is your business. What I'm going to do in this video is talk about how giving a monthly allowance very quickly after meeting a Filipina may be creating false expectations for the long term for your Filipina and the relationship. One must know that I'm all for lending a helping hand to your Filipina after you've gotten to know her quite well. And I certainly understand kind-hearted guys who want to help out a Filipina during these difficult economic times. And I have no problems with that, as long as you're not doing so just after a few short weeks of knowing her. But again, it's your money to do with as you choose, as long as you don't cry out over doing so at a later stage. The obvious problem here is that during COVID, there are more women in the Philippines than ever before looking for a foreign man to support her and possibly her family through these difficult times. And let's be real, people will do whatever it takes to survive. But these sorts of scams are not what this video is about, as I've done plenty on that topic previously. The problem here, as we get back on topic, is when a foreign guy meets a Filipina, and usually one who has little in life, including money. If the man is offering to be her saviour and to offer her a monthly allowance, she will see him as possibly her saviour and a man who is rich. And just very quickly, if you're enjoying this video or channel, be sure to smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell for future videos. Now, as most of us aren't rich, we can certainly put the wrong idea in her mind very early on that she's involved with a wealthy man. And the truth is that many Filipinos already think that all foreigners are all rich by virtue of the country that they live in. And perhaps when we look at our lifestyle and their lifestyle, we can start to understand why they think this way. So here you have a Filipina who may have lived a very basic lifestyle all of her life, and possibly her family have struggled to put food on the table, and she meets a foreign man who is now going to answer all her prayers by sending her money every single month. Just stop for one moment and put yourself in her shoes if you can. For all purposes, she sees you as this wealthy saviour or white knight, which certainly is far from the truth. But by you doing this, it's feeding this belief or false expectation in her mind that one day will be shattered when you can't keep it up, or the relationship falls over and she slides back to where she was before. Now, some people will say that if that happens, she isn't any worse off. But I say it's easy to move to a more comfortable type of lifestyle, but much harder when you have to give it all up and return to where you were before. I truly get that many guys have a kind heart and are compassionate, but being the girl's saviour or white knight early on is not doing her or you any favours and is bound to backfire at some point. I believe that when you first start any relationship with a Filipina, you need to be totally honest with her about your financial situation in life. Now, I'm not saying do this in the first chat that you have together, but certainly within the first couple of weeks as you get to know one another. You need to start to create an accurate picture of you and your life in her mind, so she doesn't see you as a man that you're clearly not. Now, perhaps some of you are very wealthy, and that is fine for her to know at some point. But certainly I would be waiting until you guys meet in person before letting her know of your wealth, just so you know that she's into you for who you are and not for your money. But as for the vast majority of us, letting her know the real facts early on will serve to eliminate any scammers looking for money, and also so she knows exactly what sort of man that she's getting involved with. I remember when I first met my wife online, telling her I was a hard-working man that had very little money or assets due to a previous divorce. Even at that time, I don't think she understood what that really meant, as she still most likely saw me as rich, as I know many of her family members certainly did. I believe it wasn't until my second trip to the Philippines to be with her that she started to really understand. I wanted to be very transparent at that time because things were getting serious, and I wanted her to know what she was getting into with me as far as money, security, and so on. And I knew that if I could show her and make her understand the reality, then if she stayed with me, it would be a good sign that she was into me and not my money. While sitting in our motel room, I pulled up my bank account details and showed her my net worth in this world, which at that time was only several $100s. And then I sat her down and explained how much I get paid weekly and what my expenses were, so she could see in my country money doesn't go all that far. She was able to understand what I was saying, and she knew at that time I was certainly not rich and never swayed away from our relationship. And I could certainly see that she truly wasn't bothered in any way. So right there goes the argument some guys have when they say, like it's a fact, that all Filipinas are only interested in your money. Simply, I had none and she knew it, and she wasn't bothered by it. And to top it off, when she first came to visit me in Australia, I was living in a small one-bedroom unit, and believe me, it was nothing flash. And again, she didn't bat an eyelid, and was just happy to be with me. So the point of me sharing this with you guys is to show you that if you take your time and help her to understand your real situation in life, and don't race in giving her monthly allowances and who knows what else, at least until you've met her in person, then if she's genuine, things will work out for the best for the long term. Certainly it can be very hard in the early stages to resist sending her a monthly allowance, and if you really feel you want to help her, then just send a few thousand pesos every now and then. But don't promise any type of regular monthly allowance until you're very sure after meeting her in person about the relationship. That way, if things don't work out, you don't lose a fortune. And if they do work out, she knows what your real situation in life is, and she's not believing in some fairy tale. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.